Hey guys, Sharriff here. Welcome back to day 6 of getting hired in a remote job. Today I'm going to break down the best way to gain experience, make money in software sales without having prior experience. And someone made $8,000 cold calling in 30 hours. Yes, 8 bands in less than a full work week. So stay tuned, lock in. The best way to make money and gain experience just for setting up qualified appointments while you're working towards breaking in your full-time tech sales role is this platform, GlenCoco. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the ropes, how to get signed up, and some success stories. Now, I like to compare GlenCoco to the Uber or DoorDash, Lyft, Instacart, whatever that may be for software sales. On this platform, you can enter as a salesperson and get on the phone and get paid anytime, anywhere on your own terms. Again, all you're going to be doing is calling different ideal buyer personas, and you will be getting paid for setting up the meeting. You do not have to close the sales call. You do not have to even get on the sales meeting that you set. All you have to do is set that up, and you get paid for every single meeting you book. You know how much you're going to be earning up front, and they even do bonuses for some of the top earners. Now, there's additional trainings for these campaigns that you're going to be calling on. These are all for different software companies. There's even some companies that are direct to consumer or business to consumer. And then as well, there's plenty of companies that are business to business, which is perfect for breaking into a career in software sales because that is the experience a lot of these companies are looking for. Now they have a built-in dialer on their platform where you can automatically auto dial multiple people until you get someone on the phone. So it saves you a lot of time and you don't have to use your own phone number, your own device, but it can all be done with a couple taps, a couple clicks from your computer. Now, you're going to obviously see my profile below where I'll be able to get you access and help you get signed up onto the platform very quickly because we do have a partnership again with GlenCoco. And Dana, she is one of our top performers right now on GlenCoco. She's only called for about 19 hours and she set 18 qualified meetings. Now, I'll let you guys do the math on what that payout would be, but I'm going to actually jump into the platform, log in, and show you guys what it actually looks like. But I'm going to just give you a ballpark. It's over, I'll just say she's made a few $1,000s on the platform. We're not going to do over, we're not going to do unders. Just know she's made a few $1,000s. And perfect. So we're in. So, like I said, I've called for about an hour. I've set 2 meetings. One was a no-show, and then another one wasn't qualified just because they didn't give them a pitch. But when we go through the actual campaigns, we're going to be able to see the newest ones as of late November. $2,500 for this meeting, $975 for this meeting, $300 per demo, and an additional $300 if the campaign launches. $200 per meeting, $175 per meeting with 560,000 leads. Amazing. So, what this looks like once you actually click on a campaign is you will have a training that you're going to go over maybe 30 minutes per company that you just have to pretty much learn the basics of their solution, learn the basics of what you're selling. So let's log into Teachable. Perfect. So we've got a couple different training modules, and if we go through, you're going to see introduction, pretty simple, business overview, pretty simple, buyer personas, and then qualification, objection handling, cold calling, important protocols. Then you're going to have a quiz, and your final step is going to be scheduling a 5 to 15 minute mock cold call with one of the GlenCoco team members so that they can approve you for this campaign. And once you're approved, you can start calling. So if I wanted to start calling right now, you see how many different campaigns I have. I can start calling. Now, as well, if we actually click over, you can even see real examples of successful meetings set, successful meetings that you can listen to. And then, as well, whenever new meetings are set, you can always listen to those. So, what I need y'all to do is get on this platform, look through the different software companies that maybe align with some of your interests, do a few of the trainings, schedule your certification call, and then if you have any questions or you need help preparing for your mock call, I want you to join one of our multiple group calls that we do out the week within our Wealth University School community. And I will do role plays with you. I will share my scripts with you, and I will help you get prepared to pass the certification calls so that we can get some money in your bank and we can get some experience on your resume and get you hired in one of these software sales positions. Let's go, y'all. Don't waste any time. This opportunity is not always going to be here. These campaigns are always changing. So if you want to make a few extra $1,000 for a few extra hours of work from the comfort of your own home and gain some experience, I suggest you click the link below this video. I have the link for you to get signed up, and sign up now. Let's go, y'all.
What's up, guys? We have some bonus content for y'all. I think you're going to really enjoy. This is one of our members that has made 10K in 1 month. She's going to tell you everything about her story, exactly how she did it. And we're not going to waste any more time. I'm excited to show you guys this. We're going to move right in.
All good. I just kind of wanted to touch base, see how things have been. I saw some of your TikTok comments and just wanted to touch base again. It seems like you're crushing it.
So you have two jobs. The first one was the language job that you helped me get. That was like the pay is like so low. It's like
I remember.
And then they are paying me like $50 a meeting, and then I get a portion of whatever closes. But it only takes me 2 hours to do that.
That's
So
fire. I remember that was the easy one that you were back in that first with GlenCoco. And then was that the one like within like a week you got hired?
yeah, that was super quick. I
Yeah.
got hired that one. And then the second one, that was only one interview. I got interviewed once, and they were pretty much like, "We're going to hire you." And that's
What?
another ed tech called Text Help. They're just kind of starting their program. They're two are the SDRs, but they've been with the company a while, but they have like no clue like
Yeah.
what the job entails, even though I really don't either, but I have just more sales experience. So that's also been fairly easy. They recently merged with another company. So there's like a bunch of openings. Actually, today on my one-on-one, I'm having a career conversation. We're going to be deciding what that next step is going to look like for me, basically, when the merger happens. So
Nice.
be an SDR manager, or do I want to be an account executive
What?
manager, or do I want to be like a CSM? Because all of those positions will be
Are
open.
open. What role are you thinking about going for?
I don't know. She gave me, I'm going to actually do it when we hang up. She gave me this spreadsheet that's like, if I gave you 100 pennies and you could put pennies on like what is most important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then today we'll talk about what that means for the
Right.
role.
That makes sense. I know account executive, if you're just looking for earning potential, that has the best career-wise, especially when you get like on the enterprise level.
Yeah.
You said ed tech. What kind of solution is it?
They sell assistive technology. So for, well, it goes into businesses, but K-12 and higher ed, being people who may have neurodivergency, dyslexia, ADHD, having trouble understanding, communicating, but also CP, people who are blind, people who are deaf, speech, things like that.
I think I was with, because that was probably around November through January that I remember you were getting hired in those roles. And I was with InstaWork, which was like a staffing company in tech. I left there in April and I'm with a company called Myo Health now, which is like fully remote and they're ed tech as well. They sell a mental health like, screening
Oh,
solution to like, K through 12. But yeah, same thing like that. They're a startup. They don't really know too much what they're doing. I do like 30 dials a day. And yeah, that one takes me like maybe 3 hours, if that, out the day to get all the work done. So I'm kind of ed tech.
yeah, I like it so far. Like, the role with text help, though, I don't even do a lot of outbound. It's all, everything's inbound for the
That's
most part.
fire.
If it's outbound, it's because we've created a sequence and like I'm just following up on that. Most of the people are customers anyways. So I'll
Right.
just be, hey, just checking in, we're merging, we have all these new things happening. Just one, it's very, very simple. And we only have to make 15 calls a day.
What? That's the lowest I've seen. I thought I had a low one. That's amazing. And then, so I've had probably like maybe 6 interviews coming up where I'm trying to job stack and find a new position. For you, did it just work out? Were you still interviewing with a lot of companies, or was it just like,
Got me the interview. It wasn't me. You got me the interview, both interviews, both jobs. So because I never stopped looking, so then I just kept going on interviews. I did go back to HubSpot. I don't know what happened there, honestly. This came about fairly quickly. I think I did maybe 3 or 4 interviews, and then I found this position.
that's perfect then? So we'll see. I'll hopefully have one locked in. I'm just kind of been patient of like finding one that is not gonna be too work intensive and like fit really well with what I've got set up too.
Exactly. That's what actually remember I got hired with, gosh, what's the name of that company? Something with a P. I can't remember it. But just in their conversation, I was like, they're gonna really like kill me. And I was like, there's no way I could job stack with them. But this
Yeah,
one, and I just kept, I said I'd take the offer. They were like getting ready to send me the computer and everything. And then finally, once they came back, I was like, no, I'm not gonna take it.
that's perfect. That's really
Yeah.
good. Have you spent time too? I know you're doing really, really good on GlenCoco.
I
You
haven't been
know,
on because I have two real jobs. So that's the only reason I haven't been on GlenCoco. But this guy, you saw him. He does side hustles, and he posted about it. So I responded. I was like, I should probably make a TikTok about this because people keep coming in my DMs
yeah.
asking, is that legit? And I could actually show them legit like my screen so they can see like you actually do make money. But
I mean, I definitely would. I feel like you got one of the best stories I've seen on GlenCoco because in what you said, maybe like 50 hours of actual dial time.
30
30
something now
something?
time, and I've made 8 grand. I think 79,
Wow.
something like that. It says last time I checked. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, that's amazing. I know
But
now it's like,
up and because it's not like I have no sales experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be someone like you do well on it. I just don't think everyone who's like doesn't have that. Like, I don't know what it is that makes you good at sales. Where you're like, I don't care if they hang up on me. I don't care if they say no. We'll just dial
yeah,
someone. Big deal. But some people that like really kind of grinds at them.
I think it's like a competitive mindset. Obviously, like, and I feel
Yeah,
like anyone with a real estate background, though, your skin is like so thick because you're doing those dials, you're getting cussed out by homeowners. They're telling you to kick rocks. You're the third
it's
agent that's called.
calling. I don't know someone who sells something on Amazon or calling someone at who's a manager at a hotel. That's not going to bother
Yeah, I
me.
think it's so much easier. If you do real estate, you can honestly do anything, especially like
Hmm.
real estate. You have to call them, then you have to go show up in person. It's like
Hmm.
you're sitting at the desk, a quick dial is definitely easier.
Exactly, exactly. So I don't know. I'm gonna have time to do that. But I was like this week, and I thought about doing it. Maybe I'll try to do it today, later in the day if I have time.
The
So
only thing is because I thought the same thing, which I feel like I'm gonna have to spend some more time on it because I believe it's if you're not active on a campaign now every 2 weeks, you have to re-go through and do the training and
it
audition for.
process for because there were people on there who didn't know what they were doing, and they were basically like. Rit told me they were like lying. So they'd say they set these appointments, and then they were either no shows or people would talk to them like qualified properly. So they had to like get on people. And now they do trainings once a week,
Yeah.
just on you with your calls and that kind of thing. So you can really take it seriously, get to job if you don't have another one, if that's what you'd like to do.
I think it's good too because I saw they even have like a daily, like, I think it's like the Glen Coco stand up. So even if you were doing that, that was 30 minutes and then another hour or two a day, it for
Yeah,
sure would be a good side hustle.
absolutely. When I was just had mango, I was doing that, I don't know, like 2 hours, maybe one, maybe not even, maybe like 1 hour. And I would get like, if I got an appointment, one appointment, that's good.
The payouts are really good, plus and everything.
So I made a goal of like, if I made 700 a week, that's $100 a day. So that's 2 appointments in a week, and I'm only spending an hour. That's not bad.
No, honestly, not at all. And you're gaining that experience, and you can now say that you've cold called for a bunch of different software companies too. But honestly, it's nothing really like it out right now.
And you know what? I was the first person to make President's Club with them.
Really.
So I added that to my resume. And that was one of the reasons I got hired at Text Help because they were like, oh, you made President's Club? I was like, you did. I get appointments. It wasn't a big deal to me, but them really great. And so they were like, well, as long as Rit had to write them and like say, yes, she actually did. But yeah, it looked great on my resume that I made
Wow.
as an SDR essentially with GlenCoco.
That's fire. That's really good. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's the one of the best things that anyone, if you don't have the sales experience and you can just really put your attention into GlenCoco, even if it's an hour or two a day, that sales experience is really all you need to land that next role in tech.
Yes, I think without it, that's when it was really hard for me to land a role without having GlenCoco on my resume. But once I added that, then people were like, "Oh, she has some experience as an SDR," which is crazy
Yeah,
for someone with 15 years of experience in
I
sales.
know. It's so crazy. That one thing.
Just that little bit, and that's what helped me start really get to what I felt like really legit SDR roles to get into tech. And that way, I'm now able to. I've been with Text Help since April, so May, June, July, August, September, October, November. It'll be 8 months, not even. So it's been 4 months, and we're already talking about what my next step is, what that promotion is going to look like.
Once you get your foot in the door too, it's so much easier to get that next role, get the next promotion. So between, and you said you could choose between account executive, SDR
Account
manager, account
SDR,
manager.
ESM, if I want to go into customer.
I feel like because I've checked on RepView and like the payouts for CSM are pretty good. I feel like that would be still, I would think the workload wouldn't be too much. I've had a account executive role before where maybe I had a $15,000 raise in salary, but after taxes, it wasn't really that much. And then like for the additional workload, it was a lot more. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, like, once you're an account executive,
You can pivot to another position.
yeah, you can pivot really easily to another account executive position, and like, especially on the enterprise level, that's where you're looking at like 130K base,
Mm-hmm.
200 something on target earnings. So I feel like the barrier to entry to account executive is probably the hardest.
That's what I mean. I'm leaning towards an account executive, but I have seen ones roles where they're like they want you to still prospect. I don't want to prospect.
That's the thing too.
SDR should be making the appointments for me. So
Yeah.
that's I'm kind of a little torn about
Yeah,
going.
that's exactly what my account executive role. It's like it was the first tech company I was at, so I was there for about a year and a half, and then they promoted our entire. We started with 5 SDRs. By the end of that first year, we had 3 of us left. They
Mhm,
promoted all 3 of us to account executive, but at that time, they didn't have the finances to bring in a whole new SDR team. It was in like
mhm.
early 2022. Tech market kind of took a hit, but it's like being that we didn't have new SDRs, we were doing pretty much full cycle. We were doing all our own prospecting, all our own lead gen, and running our own pipeline. And
Yeah.
then it switched from like qualified meeting goal to like, now it's a revenue goal too. So that's the only difference where it's a little more pressure on the account executive role. But if you do have a good SDR setting you meetings, that's when it can just be like easy. Like, hey, check your
Yeah.
calendar, close, and
Mhm.
go about your day.
I think that's why because I'm kind of I want to help my teammates get better. So that's like, do I want to be an SDR? But at the same time, do I really want to manage with like, no experience that are fresh out of college or fresh in their
Yeah.
first role? That comes with a lot of challenges, and then like understanding what it's like to have a job. So
Yeah, that is a fact. And I feel like it depends on the SDR manager role because I know you still can get like 6 figure salary pretty close to it. I just know it's not as much commissions on that one though. But in terms of the workload, I'm not sure. I've seen like, some SDR managers not really have to do anything, and I've seen some where they're like always on calls, always jumping on with their team. So it does depend.
so I just have to do the worksheet that she gave me to help figure out what that is. But I'm probably going to lean towards an account executive. Account manager sounds very easy. So that's nothing. You get a pay bump, but you're not prospecting really. You're just like renewing folks. So, and if you
Yeah.
have a good, I think it all depends on the product too. Because now I am working with 2 ed tech companies. One where we don't have the superior product. We have a good product. I don't think we market very well. Then the other where we do have the superior product. So with one job, people again, they're incoming calls all the time. I'm getting emails. Here's my PO. Here, how much does it cost to get to bring in
Wow.
the people want our product. The other, I'm literally dialing and prospecting and like,
Hmm.
you know, conference. We met at the conference. Do you want to make an appointment for a demo? That kind of thing. So it's just too. I think again, I think it depends on the product. I don't think
Yeah,
I'd want to be executive at Mango.
that makes sense. Do they have you go into?
Reporting this to share, don't share that part.
Yeah, no, I won't share. Do they have you go into a lot of different conferences and trade shows?
I've traveled quite a bit. So in February, I went to New York for a conference with Mako. In April, I went to Boston to meet my
Mm,
team X Help. In I just came back from California. I was in San Diego for a week, conference. So, and I just went to a conference in Baltimore last week. I forgot about that. But Baltimore's an hour away, so that doesn't really feel like I
Yeah.
didn't stay or anything like that. But others, were like, all of that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been starting. I feel like that'll be the next thing I'm dealing with, like the role I have now. The EdTech one, they're flying us out to Colorado next, like to Wednesday, which I mean, like 2.5 days, but they're kind of hinted about like want me to start at least like into some of these school districts and like about making contact, and then like it's literally just our sales team is me and my manager. He's like at one of these EdTech conferences,
Yeah,
so I'm just kind of thinking like,
learning. You want to do that.
yeah, like it's like, yeah, cool, you fly me out for free, but it's not like if I'm job stacking, like,
Right.
yeah,
Work for me, it's just worked out. Like I did take off Wednesday. I took last Wednesday when I went to Baltimore. I took off at Mango
yeah,
because I knew time to make phone calls at all that day because I was going to be gone the whole day. But when I was in California with Mango, I actually only took off one day and I was there for 5 days. So I
wow,
took one day with Text Help. And of course, because these are tech roles, typically you have a fair amount of vacation. So with Text Help, I
yeah,
get vacation. So taking off one day here and there is not killing me really. Not so much, but I just kind of when I was in Boston, I don't think I took off in Boston.
wow,
I was able to like some calls, which were like to like keep cool.
yeah, makes sense.
Because I mean, you're hitting your targets on a regular basis. If you have one day that you're, only do half a day, you're kind of off. No one's really like
Yeah,
gonna care. You know what I mean? So as long as that's why I keep asking both of them. I'm like, as I hit my goals, as long as I'm hitting my targets, they're gonna
yeah,
leave me. Seating them, they're gonna leave me alone.
yeah,
So
that makes sense.
the thing, but you're right. If you start, I'm learning in ed tech, a lot of the leads are coming from conferences, like getting in front of the customers, talking about getting in front of teachers and stuff like that. Like the year, they don't really have a ton of time to chat with you. They're actually teaching a class. So if they're going to a conference, they're going for the sole purpose of learning more and learning about new products. So that's the best time to talk to them or
Yeah,
to set an appointment up to talk to them later. So.
yeah, I agree. Because that's what I've been seeing too. It's like summertime, I'm calling and they're like, well, psychologist or this department like that until this date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when they come back, it's like, oh, we just got back. Like, be busy until the school year starts, and then the school year starts. So it's like I find that balance of out to them, like without, because I ideally I want to keep it to where I could just hit the numbers without having to go in person, but the calls actually aren't recorded for that role. So I was even thinking about like a really good like based virtual assistant and
I don't have dialers for either one of these roles. I was like, maybe I should just buy my own dialer because if
mhm.
50 calls a day for one role, if I had a dialer, I could get through those 50 calls in like
Yeah. Really good. Yeah, I think so for sure. That's like the next thing I'm kind of working on is like how I automate the dot and all that. I was looking into like internship. So there's this guy I found just through scrolling on Twitter and he's stacking like jobs. He said,
nine
yeah.
jobs. How do you stack nine? What does he do?
So yeah, like he's doing, I think he said quality assurance. So like some of that I feel like is a little more project based. It's like you don't have as much like their calls. So I was just kind of with him, and he had an offer where he would pretty much show you how to go from like how to double your roles. So I was like, let me stack two first, and then how to go from 2 to 4, just because he said there's logistics of like the insurance or like it could be background check. So he's like, if you are taking insurance at one, like maybe you just tell the other one like you're exploring other options, like don't tell them you're already insured or just kind of run that.
That, but I did, and I just did married. It was very easy for me to say
Uh,
like have insurance to cover me. But it turned out that one has better insurance than Mango. So come
mhm.
open for Mango, I'm going to drop Mango's and pick up Text Help because that's a reason to
Yeah,
switch your. But I did like my FSA, so I have two FSA accounts like that.
nice.
That's a good point, though. If you're a single person, I think it could get a little hairy with your insurance part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And nobody, I guess I've been lucky this far. No one's asked me. And a lot of jobs don't say that you can't have two jobs. Like I was reading the handbook when I started with Text Help, and they said it's not a problem to have two jobs. What I do think might be a problem is that there's a little bit of cross
Yeah, little.
lap because both of them sell an EL and English language learner product. However, I just got moved to public library at Mango rather than at K-12. So now I'm not really
Nice.
calling
Yeah,
the same.
That was gonna
I'm
be
not.
my last thing, is like kind of avoiding the same industry or the same vertical for like the second role, just in case. I'm like, I don't want to, because I had one, you've heard of like schools, like pollution.
Mhm.
I had an interview with them and like got past like third round, but then I think they wanted me to do another project. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't even want to like forward with it because I'm like, I may end up either calling the same conference, like or like have like the same conference for like lawyers. Thing too for like, you
I
still
have,
use it?
so I haven't updated my LinkedIn because I have two jobs and I don't want them to find out.
Yeah,
But Mango did make me change the background in my LinkedIn to like thing.
right.
However, I obscure that you could barely tell why I changed it to like a bunch of flags or something like that.
Okay.
Um, not updated my LinkedIn, which could be to a detriment if someone's really looking. And I'm always checking to see if from the company is looking at my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The reason they're always on my LinkedIn, I do not know why, but no one's ever been on my LinkedIn at Textel.
Yeah, literally how it is at Myo Health, because like I haven't, mine LinkedIn still says Insta work. It even says like I'm still present there, and I just left that and left my resume there because that was a hybrid role, and I moved from like down Phoenix to like Mesa, so it just
Mm-hmm.
makes it easy when I'm interviewing of like, yeah, use an hour plus, looking to go fully remote. But yeah, I think once I land the next job, either I'll update the LinkedIn with that, being that the company I'm at now doesn't really check, or I kind
Mm-hmm.
of thought like, what if I make two LinkedIns and maybe
Good idea.
frame it as like I just lost access to the other one. So I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking about. But yeah, they haven't really checked my LinkedIn.
I think if I would try to go get another job, that would like complicate things too much. But I might do eventually. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because those little on the like side, like they just laid off 6 people, but they're not
Yeah.
laying off because I don't pay. So I'm like the bottom of the totem pole. They're not going to lay me off, but things are a little shaky over there sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but
That makes
yeah,
sense. Well, shoot, I appreciate you. I don't want to, too much of your time. I know you got a couple calls and some things to get handled today, but
11:30 in like 20 minutes or so. Yeah,
do you give any advice then to like who's just starting off new, maybe they're going from like real estate to tech sales and
I would say reach out to you. I'll be completely honest. I've been looking for a job. I've been trying to pivot for quite a while, and until I had your help, I was not able to do it. So I'd say reach out to someone who has experience in the field that can help you make that pivot, can help you do your resume, redo your resume, redo your LinkedIn, so that you are appealing to market. But yeah, I guess I would advise you to do. But
nice.
if you're someone who's interested in pivoting, maybe you just want to add on to what you're doing already. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool thing too, because like you wanted to still do real estate on the side, or I mean, got the freedom, you got the time now to, and you also have like an abundance mindset. Because with real estate, it's like, you don't get paid until the deal closes, so still got something coming in.
That was one of the reasons I wanted to leave real estate is because like it happened that are out, and that's real estate in general. Things happen out of your control. Like I
100.
could burst while you're under contract, and now they have to fix it. And now when you were expecting to close in 30 days, now closing's in 45, and
Yeah,
you have it makes things a little harder sometimes.
definitely
And there's
does.
that you don't get paid for in real estate. So having something else really helps like that. You're like, oh, it's just for fun now.
Yeah, thanks. And then during the process, do you think the resume made the biggest difference? Do you think it was the applications, or do you think it was just kind of culmination of it all together?
Of all. I think having a good resume, because if I didn't have a good resume and you're helping me apply for roles, they wouldn't have been responding to me.
Yeah,
Because you're so many roles you're applying for me, like getting rejections every day. I'm getting rejections, but
same.
you're like, I'm going to apply for like 25 to 30 more jobs tomorrow. Eventually the interviews start rolling in.
Yeah, fact. Yeah,
And
I definitely agree.
like, I think one day I got like interview requests.
What?
Yeah.
What's been lately? I feel like the market, at least, I don't know. I always hear people like, oh, the tech market's not good, but I'm like, I've had like interviews scheduled in the last week, and
Hmm.
yeah, and I'm trying to pick like ones do I want to do, which ones do I want to move forward with? Because I still do see some companies like have a 5 round process, or like are
Nothing.
some that, yeah, you have to do a project, you have to meet with the HR team.
Yeah, I think that's, again, when you have other roles you're working with, that's a turnoff. You're like, I want to go through all that. I'm not going to take all my
Yeah,
time and then you're not going to hire me. And I've done a whole project and like I did that for not Groupon, what's the company? Grammarly. I did
yeah, remember.
a PowerPoint presentation and they canceled my final interview like minutes before it. I think you now like are able to like up so many roles at a time. You have the discernment to be like, you know what, I don't want to do that. And this isn't, you have the power to choose the
Facts.
environment you want or the culture you want to work for. So some cultures are just not a good fit.
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
like job.
I agree. And then, so yeah, you had two startups too. I'm thinking startups, because that like a startup now are the best for not being micromanaged, not being overworked, and having more flexibility.
So TechSoup really isn't a startup. They've been around for like 2 years. They
Oh,
just with another company. They bought another company 2 years ago. So they're definitely not a startup, but the role is a startup. Never really had SDRs. So that's the part
yeah,
that and Mango's been around since like seven. They've been around a
really.
while,
How much
but
like company size, like in terms of
they only
employees?
have 5 employees at Mango. It's very
Okay.
small. You can get in a meeting with this with like CEO very easily.
Mm.
Like think tank meetings once a month. You can just hop in there and like ideas that they should be working on, stuff like
Cool.
that. They actually in like first month they took one of my ideas and where they're making that a reality right now.
Oh, wow.
You have that opportunity to have more of like a influence in a smaller company like
Yeah.
that.
That's what I would say instead. Then smaller companies for sure are the way to go.
Because companies that have these like sales organizations are going to be a lot more rigorous in
Yeah.
how your role is and a lot more micromanaging because they I mean, a good thing and a bad thing. Like they know that they can turn out in 18 months, they're going to move you into that next role. And they're if you as long as you follow their plan and they have an exact plan. But the smaller companies are like, we have a plan, but you
Yeah.
might get a role in 3 months and 6 months. It may not be a full 18 months where everyone else is like, it's going to be 18 months. You have to sit in that spot.
Yeah, exactly how InstaWork was because they were past like C round funding. I think it was like 70 or 80 sales reps across the company. And not only in January, we were at like qualified appointments a month for our quota, and it had to be like shifts for that company to be a qualified demo. By April, we were at now we needed 40 shifts, so they doubled like the qualifier, and we had like qualified demos to set. So like
Mhm.
doubled the quota, they doubled the requirements, and then they started adding like daily check-in team call, like daily team checkout call, 4:30 p.m. I'm like salary role, but I'm almost clocking in and clocking out. Like,
Thank you.
yeah,
Another great thing I like about both roles that I have is I can work out of the country for both of my roles. I
nice.
can so TextHelp has offices in Australia. They have offices in Ireland. They have products in Denmark. So you can work in all of those places. But in addition to, they'll let me work anywhere I want in the world as long as I'm not there too long and it's not a tax implication.
Yeah.
And then with Mango, I can work up to 2 months anywhere in the world I want. So
Wow.
that gives you like a lot of flexibility to like and kind of at the same time.
Do you have any trips or anything planned? I did a call like this with the guys in the group, Michael, and he was in LA. He was job stacking like TR roles for 6 months. He moved to Mexico and he was like those 6 months of working, he literally saved like a year's worth of his expenses
Oh
because the
wow.
living was so much lower.
So my husband, he actually in about a year will be able to travel with his job. So I'm kind of waiting on
Nice.
that. But October, I'm going to St. Martin where my family's from. And I the for a wedding, but I'm gonna go for a
Mhm.
longer I go for like weeks. And I'll just work while I'm
Yeah.
there, you know. And I
Yeah.
think
I
the
definitely
job held me back from going for a month. And I want 2 kids by myself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, if he needs help, we can help him out, get one of these old ones. But yeah, you're not too bad to
No.
kind of be able to plan some stuff out. And then it's like you can really, for a month, if not longer.
And his job, they have offices all over the world and they have apartments. So
Wow.
they let you book the apartment. As long as you book it, you can stay there for up to 3 months in any of their other
Wow.
offices, like London, Singapore, Shanghai, all these places. So I'm like, okay, it works for me too, because I can work up to 2 months, both of my jobs without a problem. So
Yeah, perfect. Because I do think another creator, his name is the Digital Bromad. Like Austin does is he does data analytics, but like now he's been in the Philippines for a few months, if not longer. He was in Colombia and he's kind of
not Bogota. He was in Medellin for a really long time.
yeah.
Popped up on my thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, we actually partnered up and we've been kind of a lot of content that we're gonna start because he knows so much more than me about like VPNs in the other countries, like the make sure you've got fast Wi-Fi, how to check it, like whether you're staying at an Airbnb or apartment, like where Wi-Fi speed is, the co-working spaces. But I think that's perfect because you would be able to avoid a lot of those like issues that he ran into when he was traveling, since you guys would have an apartment lined up, you've got
Mm.
offices, you already have people there. He was like, that was the main thing that he had to do, was like trying to find people in different cities. And so like touch down and everything's in a different language.
Yeah,
It's definitely could be
make,
scary.
yeah, make it difficult. So I'm so glad we got to connect.
Definitely. We'll have to do it again soon.
Yeah. Do you know anything else? Any other we call it like I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? When people give testimonials. Testimonials, let me know.
No, I
I'm your
appreciate you always.
because you put me on the GlenCoco. I have basically 3 jobs from you. So
Yeah, you've been killing it though. That's what I love. Like executed, you just took the information and executed and you got the results. So
even with like GlenCoco, I think you were talking about GlenCoco in like, I don't know, August or September of last year. And I did not get on GlenCoco until October, the end of October. And I was like to myself, once I thought through it, because I felt like the training was going to be like, oh, I got to read all this. I don't feel like it. And it really only took me like to get through the training. And once I was through, I was on the phones and you got paid in like hours.
yeah, amazing. Like the training's quick, and then yeah, they out via Stripe, so it's super quick too. It's not like you have to do a bunch of waiting, and it's all transparent. So
Yeah. So, all right.
thank
Well,
you
thank
again. We'll definitely touch base in a couple weeks, couple months, and I'll be able to update you. Hopefully, I'm job stacking by the next time we talk.
Yes. All right. I'll let you know if I take the next promotion too. All
Sweet.
right. Bye.
Bye.